In the uncharted cosmos, human explorer Louis Beckett stumbles into a fierce battle that redefines his existence. Awakening 4 Iridian sisters from stasis, he becomes their unexpected ally in a war against the Vorax. As their destinies intertwine, Louis faces a harrowing choice. Will he protect innocent lives or follow orders? The weight of his decision could alter the fate of worlds. Don't forget to subscribe. 91% of viewers enjoy our content but forget to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with our daily sci-fi stories and support a dedicated team of storytellers and content creators who rely on this as their livelihood. The stars flickered like distant campfires in the vast, dark expanse of space as Louis Beckett deftly piloted his ship, the Celestial Voyager, through a proverbial sea of constellations. With its sleek, reflective hull cutting through the ether, the Voyager was a beacon of exploration, a vessel built for uncovering the universe's secrets. Louis, an experienced human explorer with tousled dark hair and a rugged yet sharp jawline, navigated comfortably, yet his heart danced with a thrill, a familiar feeling that urged him toward the unknown. Suddenly, a jarring jolt reverberated throughout the ship, shattering the serene silence that enveloped him. Alarms blared, red lights flashing ominously as a distress signal crackled over the comms. His heart raced in anticipation and trepidation. What could lie beyond? He pondered, instinctively steering the ship toward the source of the signal. Drifting into view was a battered vessel, its hull charred and smoking like a ghost ship lost to time. The sight sent chills down Louis's spine. He clutched the controls more tightly, drawn by an inexplicable urge to alleviate the ship's suffering, whatever had befallen it. "Hang in there, I'm coming," he whispered, guiding the Voyager alongside the damaged craft before initiating a docking maneuver. The clang of metal echoed as he grappled with the ship's hatch, swinging it open to reveal an ominously silent corridor, thick with the acrid scent of burning metal. Shadows danced along the walls as an eerie glow illuminated his path. As he proceeded deeper into the wreckage, he stumbled upon a chamber filled with strange, glowing stasis pods. Inside, he could make out the silhouettes of 4 young beings, seemingly suspended in a dream. As he approached, the faint whir of machinery stirred, and he swallowed hard, knowing he was about to break the quiet that had enveloped them. With a swift motion, he activated the release mechanism, the hiss of escaping gas punctuating the air. The chambers opened, and a wave of shimmering light enveloped the sisters as they awakened. They emerged with wide, iridescent eyes that reflected the vast, starry cosmos that surrounded them. Janice, the eldest, had long silver hair cascading like a waterfall, framing her delicate features. Her eyes sparkled with an array of colors, reminiscent of a prism catching light. With an air of authority paired with vulnerability, she blinked and looked around, her voice trembling with uncertainty. "Who are you?" "Woo." Louis took a deep breath, feeling a rush of responsibility wash over him. "I'm Louis. I'm here to help you," he replied, his voice steadying as he moved to reassure the sisters. Each one was uniquely beautiful, their iridian skin glowing faintly in the dim light, hinting at the untold power lying dormant within them. Their expressions shifted from bewilderment to an urgent understanding as Altera, with her fiery red locks and resolute presence, stepped forward. "We must hurry," she urged, casting a glance out of the nearby viewport, her voice laced with a mix of fear and hope. "Our home is under attack by the Vorax." The words hung heavily in the air, each syllable stitching together the fabric of a reality he had only just begun to comprehend. A flicker of emotions ignited within Louis. A desire for adventure, the thrill of heroism, and an undeniable need to protect these extraordinary beings. Back aboard the Celestial Voyager, the unearthly hum of machinery filled the cabin, creating an unsettling backdrop for Louis as he contemplated his next move. The vibrant screens flickered before him, displaying various readings of their surroundings. A seemingly empty stretch of space, punctuated only by distant stars. He moved his fingers over the controls, rigid with determination, attempting to program the coordinates for safety, halfway contemplating a future that felt as fragile as the hull of the ship shielding him from the void beyond. Yet, As the numbers populated the screen, a sudden urgency shot through the delivery of his communicator. The voice crackling through the device summoned a surge of tension within him. "Beckett, you are ordered to return the aliens at once," barked Commander Lawson from Earth's Defense Fleet, his tone unyielding and clipped. Louis clenched his fists around the cool metal of the console, battling an internal storm of thoughts and emotions swirling inside him. "I can't just hand them over. Their home is in ruins." The words poured out before he had a moment to pause, and he could almost taste the adrenaline coursing through his veins. "We don't negotiate with threats. The Vorax will not hesitate," the commander warned, steel threading through his voice. Louis could picture the commander's stern face, cold and unyielding, standing rigid in his office, a galaxy away. But a fire burned inside Louis, searing away the necessity of obedience. He turned his gaze towards the Iridian sisters, who were standing a short distance from him, their shimmering forms standing in stark contrast to the dull machinery of the ship. Mara, with her luminous emerald skin shimmering in the low lights of the ship, approached him, her voice soft but unwavering. "We need your help, Louis. Will you stand with us?" The question floated dangerously between them, demanding an answer that hung heavier than the gravity of the barren worlds outside. In that moment, the weight of the sisters' innocent eyes bore down on him, wide and glistening with hope and fear, their very essence a stark reminder of the battle unfolding just beyond the stars. "Together, we'll find a way," he insisted, his voice stronger than he felt, a newfound resolve brightening his features as he glanced back at the blinking consoles. But lurking in the shadows of the vastness of space, the foreboding threat of the Vorax loomed ever closer, pressing down on him as unyieldingly as the commander's orders. The girls exchanged glances, the iridescent sheen of their skin reflecting back the flickering lights of the control panel. Louis could feel their determination resonating within him. They were more than mere passengers caught in the turmoil of the universe. They were life, they were resilience, and they had formed unbreakable bonds in an instant. Life is a gamble, Louis thought, a rush of emotions washing over him as he turned to face the cosmos through the ship's viewport. The stars shimmered like diamonds against the darkness of infinity. He saw not just a point of light, but countless lives, possibilities, and struggles intertwined amidst the endless black. And it was then that he resolved. He wouldn't abandon them. He wouldn't be the harbinger of more pain for these girls. Hours melted into a blur as the celestial voyager sped further from Earth and deeper into the unknown. The hum of the ship resonated like a heartbeat, matching the rhythm of their newfound alliance. As they laid low, devising a plan to confront the Vorax, his and their interactions rippled with the growing tension of their shared plight. "Do you trust him?" Hour's voice cut through the air, the question hanging like dew on a spider's web. They had gathered in a small hold, the dim light casting shadows across their faces, earnest and resolute. Yennefer, twirling a strand of her silver hair around her finger as her brow furrowed, glanced at her sisters before offering a quiet affirmation. "He fights for us. He sees what we are." "Yet humans are known for their betrayal," Kala added with a hint of apprehension wavering in her tone. Each sister shared a history intertwined with events that had shaped their minds, tales of human greed and disregard that echoed across galaxies. "But Louis isn't like them," Mara interjected, her eyes bright with unwavering faith. "He has already shown us kindness. We cannot hold the sins of others against him." Their discussion turned into a rallying journey within themselves, pushing against the haunting thoughts they'd carried. Just as Louis believed in them, they began believing in him, each sister clasping her hands tightly together, the Iridian connection igniting a flicker of hope against the encroaching darkness. "What do we do now?" Louis's voice broke the tension as he entered their sanctuary, bringing with him a rush of newfound energy. "We need to devise a strategy to confront the Vorax head-on." Suddenly the spacecraft jolted violently, and the lights flickered ominously. Alarms wailed shrill and frantic alerts. The sisters' vibrant forms faltered momentarily, casting disarray across the hold. "What was that?" Janice exclaimed, her eyes widening. "Emergency protocols engaged." A computerized voice filled the cabin, sending a wave of adrenaline through them. Louis rushed towards the control panel and gripped the edge desperately. Vorax ships are approaching. He darted into action, tapping frantically at the console, dodging visuals of incoming threats displayed ominously on the screens. Black silhouettes against the backdrop of vibrant stars. "We can't just sit here. You need to get us to safety, Louis," Alparara urged, the urgency amplifying her alien lilt, their unique language blending with the once familiar human tones creating something new, an amalgamation of identities now fused into purpose. The sisters exchanged fierce glances infused with determination, an electric connection resonating in the air around them. "We can help, we can fight," Kala insisted, stepping forward, her iridescent skin shimmering determinedly, casting ethereal patterns against the luminous walls of the Voyager. Together, they launched into action, calling upon the dormant energy that thrummed through their connection. Louis saw them transform from frightened victims to defiant warriors, their unique abilities intertwining, sparkling with potential as they brainstormed. "We'll need to access the energy reserves," Mara commanded, leading them through the ship's corridors with an air of authority that ignited a spark of courage within Louis. They descended further into the belly of the ship, where thick metal veins pulsed and hummed as if alive. "What do we have to do?" Louis asked, urgency swimming in his voice as he followed them through the narrow halls. "We'll channel our energies into your ship's systems, augment the weaponry." As the days progressed, the tension aboard the celestial Voyager mounted, each fleeting moment a reminder of their precarious existence. The ship's dim lights cast long shadows across the control room, while echoes of the distant Vorax ships thrummed through the hull like a haunting heartbeat. Louis stood at the viewport, staring into the vastness of space, the swirling cosmos reflecting the chaos brewing within him. The Iridian sisters gathered around a holographic display projecting a map of the galaxy, revealing their home planet, Veralis, now a smoldering ruin under Vorax domination. The intricate graphics pulsed rhythmically, illuminating their sharp features. Janice's iridescent hair seemed to shimmer more violently with each passing second, mirroring her growing anxiety. "We need supplies to fight back," Kayla insisted, her voice steady and low, yet imbued with an undeniable fervor. Her green eyes shone like emeralds, radiating determination. "There's an ancient Iridian weapon buried on our planet. If we can harness its power, it could turn the tide in our favor." Whew. Louis swallowed hard, anxiety curling in his stomach. "If we go back, we risk being caught," he cautioned, his voice trembling slightly with uncertainty as he paced the console, marred by scratch marks and old stains. Every instinct screamed at him to retreat, to safeguard the sisters from the dangers that thrummed so perilously close. "Better to fight than to hide," Giannis rebutted fiercely, her syntax reminiscent of an unbroken spirit. "We have each other now. That should be enough." The crease in her brow spoke volumes of the restless fire that ignited within the hearts of her sisters. They were not merely Iridians. They were warriors, seekers of freedom, tied not just by blood, but by dreams and purpose. Mara's gentle voice interjected, "We cannot allow our home to be destroyed. The Vorax thrive on conquest. If we do nothing, we will all be lost." There was weight in her words that settled heavily on Louis's shoulders, the unspoken truth that he had felt stir within him since their first encounter. Amidst his indecision, Louis relived the remnants of forgotten memories that the sisters shared, their vibrant homes alive with laughter and celebration, filled with kaleidoscopic colors and aromatic scents of Iridian flora. The nuances of their culture painted a vivid image in his mind, weaving a tapestry of life that he now felt committed to safeguarding, a duty that transcended mere chance encounter. "Then we go back," he decided at last, his mind racing with the immediate changes this mission would require. The glow of determination flickered in Louis as thoughts rallied around new strategies, secret navigations, and potential alliances with other resistance factions hidden among the stars. Their journey back to Veralis was fraught with unease. As they traveled, the sisters shared stories of their lives, tales imbued with nostalgia and flickers of joy that punctured the oppressive atmosphere around them. Each layer of their past they unveiled burgeoned into a deeper connection between Louis and the Iridian sisters. They traveled through stellar highways and gravity wells, immense celestial phenomena that painted the backdrop with surges of azure tides and swirling black holes, remnants of cosmic births and untimely deaths. The ship was alive with suspense. A mere whisper could sway their fates. As they soared closer to Veracles, the mood shifted palpably aboard the celestial voyager. The vibrant green hue of their planet now lay dim, smothered under a cloak of Vorax warships. Louis guided the ship into stealth mode, blending into the shadows of space. The sisters huddled together, their fear palpable yet contemptuously masked by bravery. "There," Alchimera whispered, pointing to an opening amidst the charred remnants of Iridian architecture. "The Temple of Inara. It houses the weapon. We can retrieve it from there." With a steely resolve, Louis activated a cloaking mechanism, maneuvering the ship skillfully to avoid detection. The cold embrace of the Iridian world swelled below him, once a bastion of life, now a graveyard of memories. As they disembarked, the heavy air felt thick with the remnants of destruction, stinging their senses. Exposed and vulnerable, they tread lightly, navigating through the searing debris littered across the technicolor landscape. The echoes of bygone laughter haunted the sanctuaries that stood, a mere shadow of their former glory, now tarnished by the scars of warfare. "Time is against us," Janice broke the silence, her voice a steadied breath against the chaos. "We must be swift." With determination rife in their hearts, they made their way toward the Temple of Inara. The steps leading to the centuries-old structure were slick with ash, crumbling beneath their feet as Iridian glyphs barely held together under the weight of loss. As they reached the entrance, an eerie hush surrounded them. Ancient carvings glistened under a pale, otherworldly light as they crossed the threshold, revealing an enormous chamber adorned with artifacts, each representing a chapter of Iridian history. Alber's eyes sparkled, a mixture of sorrow and pride washing over her face. "Legends say the weapon was forged from the heart of a dying star," she whispered, her hand tracing over the inscriptions. "Now it awaits a hero." They advanced toward the altar, where the weapon, a gleaming relic pulsating with latent energy, lay dormant. Just as the sisters stepped closer, the ground trembled violently, as if the temple itself was warning them. In synchrony, the Iridian sisters raised their hands, chanting an incantation ingrained in their blood, a long-forgotten melody of their ancestors. Suddenly, the walls began to vibrate, the echoes of the past converging with the present. "Can you feel it?" Mara shouted over the rumbling, her voice a clarion call amid the chaos. "It's responding to us." "I see the power. It's awakening," Louis exclaimed, his heart racing in sync with the pulse of ancient Iridian energy that thrummed in the air. Before they could harness the weapon's full potential, an abrupt crackling of energy filled the chamber as a heavy boot echoed eerily from outside. Vorax's presence was imminent. "Time to go," Louis urged, but his feet felt weighed down by the enormity of the choice they made. This was not merely a fight, it was a last stand for an ancient civilization. As they raced out of the Temple of Inara, the world around them transformed into a chaotic symphony of destruction. Energy blasts lit the sky, illuminating the silhouettes of monstrous war machines descending upon them. The weight of their decision loomed heavily. Had they unleashed their fate, or had they just begun a fight far greater than any of them ever anticipated? Suddenly, a piercing scream shattered through the air. "They found us!" Janice yelled, her breath hitching as the series of explosive flames erupted across the landscape. Heartbeats synchronized with the pulsating energy of the glowing glyphs as they stood before the ancient weapon, a relic of the Iridian civilization buried in the wreckage of time. The air crackled with a tingle that sent shivers down Louis' spine, his senses heightened as he took in the vast expanse of the alien landscape. A fierce determination pulsed through him. Today they wouldn't just stand against the storm, but would fight back with all they had. "This is it," Louis declared, his voice resolute. He glanced at the Iridian sisters, their expressions reflecting a blend of fear and hope. Each sister radiated their unique luminescence, a visual testament to their heritage and resilience. "If we're going to make a stand, We need to do it now. Can you feel it? Mira whispered, her bright eyes narrowing as she surveyed the structure. The energy, it calls to us. She reached out a hand, brushing her fingers against the ancient surface, triggering a soft hum that resonated in the very core of their beings. As Louis moved closer, he felt the vibration in his bones. What do we need to do? He asked, unwilling to waver in taking charge of their fate. We need a deep connection, Aura said quietly, her gaze locked on the pendant nestled against her chest. A family heirloom, forged with love and sacrifice, a piece of her essence that would awaken the weapon. But it comes with a price. What price? Louis questioned, brow furrowing in concern. We might lose part of ourselves, she replied solemnly. The energy demands something sacred to link with it fully. Quote, We are willing to make that sacrifice, Janice added, her voice brimming with confidence. If it means saving our home, we will do whatever it takes. Steeling himself, Louis took a step back, positioning himself alongside the sisters. Then let's connect together. The air buzzed as their energies intertwined, each sister placing a hand onto Albriar's pendant. Louis closed his eyes, pulling memories of Earth into focus. The vibrant landscapes, the laughter, whispers of wind through tall grasses, and the bond of family. Everything he held dear. As their energies combined, the glyphs exploded with color. Sacred sigils etched themselves onto the ground in luminescent loops, swirling and pulsing like a heartbeat. Algrazra took a deep breath, raising her hands as the glyphs responded, wrapping energy around them. Now, she commanded, her eyes glowing with ethereal light. Together, they began to chant in a language that resonated with the fabric of the universe, a melody that danced through the air, carrying their intentions. They poured hopes and dreams into this melding of powers, creating a tapestry of fate that could battle the encroaching darkness. In that revelatory moment, time blurred. The responsibilities of their worlds collided. As the weapon responded, energy surged upwards in spirals and flickers, reaching for the darkened sky. A connection forged through vulnerability and strength transcended the tangible, creating a shockwave that rippled outwards. Look! Mara suddenly gasped, pointing upward. The shimmering light pierced the menacing clouds gathering above. The Vorax ships appeared like phantoms, striking fear into the hearts of the galaxy with their stark metallic forms. The shadows of their capital ships loomed larger than life, bent on annihilation. The ground trembled again. They're coming! Louis exclaimed, a mix of excitement and dread skimming through him. We have to prepare. As the sisters intensified their focus, motes of vibrant light attached to their intricate designs, traced and linked to decode the ancient technology. The glowing symbols transformed into weapons and shields, readying them for confrontation. They felt the resonance swell in their core, a promise of hope and retaliation. Stay close and don't stray, Louis instructed, feeling the urgency govern his commands. Throughout their shared energy, the fabric of their lives entwined, creating a connection so profound it healed their fears. What was a mere association had evolved into a unified purpose, an indomitable force led by the strongest during the frailest of times. Suddenly, the air erupted with violent blasts as the Vorax unleashed their first wave of attacks. The sisters instinctively activated their newfound technology, forming shields of energy that illuminated the darkness pure, fierce, and unyielding. Louis willed every part of himself into the battle. The celestial voyager hummed with readiness, a sentinel of hope birthed in the middle of chaos. Hold your positions! Louis shouted over the cacophony of blasts and explosions, his heart racing as he scanned the skies. The first Vorax ship descended, weighty and menacing, and before they could react, a series of swift maneuvers shot forth. Brilliant beams of light that erupted from the active glyphs, striking the Vorax with precision. The aftermath felt intoxicating. There was power in their connection, a primal energy that soared through the atmosphere. Louis, invigorated by their combined strength, found himself strategizing every move with newfound confidence. "Giannis, flank left. Alvra, direct the focus against the engines," he barked, his voice slicing through the rhythmic thunders of battle. They adapted so fluidly, becoming almost extensions of one another. They were no longer four sisters and one man, a duo of species. They were a single entity, a force united in the line of defense. With each explosion, the battlefield grew vibrant with streaks of color and crackling energy. As they honed their skills, navigating around the brilliance of their combined power, Velocitarians, the ruthless warriors of the Vorax, emerged from their ships to engage in ground combat. "Keep them away from the weapon!" Mara yelled, her eyes fierce. Each sister dove into the fray, using their Iridian techniques combined with Earth's martial strategies to create a whirlwind of fury that sent shockwaves through the enemy ranks. Chaos consumed the battlefield as the pair engaged in an intricate tango, evading blows and striking back with synchronized elegance, illuminating the darkness with deeper colors, the blue of resistance, the green of life, the gold of resilience. The battlefield was alive with energy, a dance of light and sound resonating in the hearts of all who bore witness. The Vorax forces, sensing their impending defeat, retaliated with brutal force. Gravitational weapons unleashed beams of oppressive darkness, cutting across the battlefield. Louis leaped, narrowly avoiding a blast that could have obliterated him. The force scattered energy emissions that zigzagged through the air. "Now!" Albra shouted, her voice piercing through the din as she directed their energies towards the spiraling void. They summoned the weapon's ancient power once more, channeling their strength in the face of adversity. A magnificent vortex opened, lifting debris and casting a radiant glow over everyone. The Vorax's mechanized structures began to falter under the weight of their assault. The atmosphere crackled with tension as Louis led the Iridian sisters into battle. The vibrations of the ground beneath their feet resonated with the pulse of their hearts. Explosions lit the darkened horizon like stars exploding in slow motion, casting eerie shadows across their determined faces. Each blast sent tremors through the very fabric of their surrounding alien landscape, a reminder of the stakes at play, a battle for survival, a battle for hope. "Stay close!" Louis shouted over the cacophony, his voice a steady anchor amid the chaos. With Giannis flanking him, they dashed toward a nearby ridge that would give them an advantageous view of the Vorax forces closing in. He felt a surge of adrenaline as he looked back to see the Iridian sisters following with unwavering resolve. Janice's iridescent eyes sparkled with fierce determination. "We fight together," she echoed, drawing on the same belief that had woven their fates together. Despite the flickers of fear, she unleashed a barrage of energy from the weapon they had awoken on their home planet. The pulse of the weapon illuminated her form, transforming her into a radiant warrior. The enormous Vorax ship swooped low, its ominous silhouette blocking out the stars. "Mara, now!" Louis called, glancing at the youngest sister, who was nervously clutching the weapon they had activated. It was a heart-wrenching moment. They had one shot at this, one option to alter the course of their future. "Firing now!" Mara yelled, pressing her hands against the control interface, her fingers dancing over the ancient glyphs. A sharpened beam of energy screamed from the weapon, streaking through the air and colliding with the Vorax ship in a glorious explosion. A celestial firework lit the battlefield, creating a moment of stark contrast where hope and despair collided chaotically. "Keep moving," Louis urged as they sprinted across the beleaguered terrain. Desolation surrounded them, remnants of what the Iridian home once was, a haunting reminder of the lives lost and futures shattered. In this moment, they were not just warriors. They were symbols of a world yearning for survival. Altera, with her fierce spirit, charged ahead. "We can't give them an inch!" Each word dripped with passion as she propelled her energy blasts toward the advancing Vorax ground troops. The Iridians fought with a grace that melded perfectly with their fierce strategy. The sisters' movements were almost choreographed as they backflipped and doved, avoiding incoming fire and retaliating with precision. Louis found himself caught between awe and admiration for the sisters. What began as a reluctant alliance evolved into a bond steeped in bravery and resilience. "You're incredible," he shouted to them, and his praise ignited a fiery spirit within the sisters. Over the thunderous din of battle, Kayla steadied her breathing, concentrated, and joined her sisters in a coordinated assault. "Together," she shouted, their combined energies weaving an intricate tapestry of defense that sparked hope amongst those fighting alongside them. "Push them back," Louis commanded, driving them forward, propelled by the urgent need to survive. "We have to protect each other." He could feel the weight of responsibility heavy upon him. Each decision could dictate their outcome. But with every Vorax ship they destroyed, new ones emerged, darker and more imposing. The command structure of the Vorax was resilient, and they seemed unrelenting. Just when they felt they had gained ground, the enemy regrouped, a tactic of chaos they were all too familiar with. "Reinforcements are on the way!" A shout came from behind as Louis glanced to see a squadron of Iridian warriors joining their cause, led by a veteran fighter whose emergence sparked a wave of hope. An Iridian champion with shimmering skin and battle scars that told stories of valor, she stood poised beside Louis. "Don't let their numbers intimidate us!" A rallying cry erupted amongst the allies. "For our home!" the Iridians roared, their voices harmonizing into a powerful symphony. Louis's heart raced, caught up in this exquisite moment of unity that transcended differences. They found themselves moving as one, a singular force against the encroaching nightmare. Energy surged through them all, each sister enlivened by their intertwined destinies. Each blast they released rippled with the promise of tomorrow, resonating within their fingertips as Louis led them into the fray. The front line grew fierce, and the landscape became a tapestry of chaos and courage. All around them, explosions erupted, coloring the night sky with reds, yellows, and blues like the aurora of a distant world. It felt as though they were fighting not just for the present, but for a future that could blossom from the ashes of despair. The visceral and unyielding sounds of battle filled Louis's ears. He turned to find Algerara fighting back-to-back with Janus, their energy blades clashing against Vorax weapons. He watched in disbelief as their trust in one another shone brighter than the galaxies themselves. "Louis, focus!" Janus shouted, breaking him from his reverie. He snapped back, realizing he had hesitated. "We need to flank them." Without a moment's thought, Louis took charge, directing the sisters to split their forces. "Janus, Mara, head left. Use the terrain to your advantage," he instructed, feeling the synergy of their movements, each shift echoing shared experience and growth. "And what about us?" Kayla asked, concern tinting her voice, sweat glistening on her brow. "You'll follow my lead, and we'll create a distraction," he assured, adrenaline coursing through him. It was a perilous gambit, but they were ready to gamble everything on the hope of freedom. Together they coordinated a series of strikes, tactics flowing like the energy that surged through their weapons. The assistance of the Iridian allies came at just the right moment. Wave after wave of Vorax forces faltered against their combined might. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed across the battlefield. A Vorax warlord, gargantuan in stature, emerged from the shadows, darkening the hope surrounding Louis and the sisters once more. The ground shook as the creature bellowed, eyes glimmering with malevolence. "This ends now," it thundered, stomping forward, each step reverberating through their very bones. Louis felt the collective fear coursing through his companions. He glanced to Janus, unwavering, her jaw clenched in determination. "It's time," she said, barely above a whisper, yet it carried the weight of resolve. Beneath the veneer of fear, a powerful spark erupted within their ranks, solidifying their determination. Louis stepped forward, adrenaline pumping through his veins. "We stand united," he declared, rallying their spirits once more. "We will not let the Vorax take our future." With raw energy they surged toward the warlord. Janus and Mara unleashed their attacks, energy beams slicing through the air. Kala and Altera flanked Louis as they maneuvered closer, weaving through the chaotic battlefield like dancers amidst destruction, And then, the crescendo. The moment they had all fought for came crashing down, as Janice and Mira activated the weapon one final time. It roared to life, a catastrophic burst of Iridian energy, slamming into the Vorax warlord with an intensity that lit up the battlefield. The explosion was blinding. It sent shockwaves through the area, carving a path through the fighter craft above as the creature let out a spine-chilling wail before disintegrating into nothingness. The echo of their combined triumph rang through the silent remnants left in its wake. And then it was quiet. The battlefield fell eerily still, the cacophony replaced by a haunting silence. Louis took a moment to catch his breath, surveying the aftermath of their grueling struggle. The Iridian sisters stood among the wreckage, their expressions a mixture of disbelief and relief washing over them. "We did it," Mira whispered, tears glistening like stars reflecting upon her face. "Against all odds, we fought." "We are more than just survivors," Alcara declared, her voice fierce and proud. "We are champions of our world." Louis drew closer, feeling the gravity of their victory. "This fight may be won, but the war for your home, for our future, is just beginning. Let's build a better future together." His heart surged with hope, a promise renewed to safeguard their destinies intertwined. As they surveyed their surroundings, Iridian warriors started to move cautiously, gathering their wounded and inspecting the remnants of the aftermath. Although scars would remain, so too would the bonds forged in this battle, each mark telling tales of bravery and sacrifice. Amid these meditative thoughts, Louis approached the sisters, who stood together, united with the rising sun heralding a new day. "Whatever battles lie ahead, I will stand by your side," he offered, a vow that echoed the resilience shared amongst them. The Iridian sisters shared glances, smiles breaking through their expressions of loss. "And we will stand by yours," Yanis affirmed, reaching out to clasp his hand, the warmth between them igniting the very essence of hope. As they turned towards the dawn creeping forth, a sense of finality washed over the battlefield, and a promise emerged within the growing light. Together, amid the silence, they stood tall warriors united in purpose and destiny, poised to forge a future that could echo through the ages. In moments like these, they understood. True strength lay in connection, in shared paths, and the bravery to dream anew amid the stars. Though challenges awaited, they would meet them together, entwined by fate with a vision that reached far and wide, across galaxies yet to explore. With their spirits alight, they began to rebuild, not just a home, but a legacy that would transcend time and space, a testament to the bonds that united them. The journey wasn't over, but their hearts overflowed with determination, each breath a whisper of hope, a promise to continue fighting for the tomorrows yet to come. With a universe waiting to be discovered, they readied themselves to embrace whatever lay beyond the horizon, side by side, undaunted, unbreakable. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.